Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Today, another exciting show, another exciting guest. Today's show is really, let me sum it up like this. Imagine, if you will, growing up, being told that your education level is less than fourth grade. Opportunities are limited, and then trying to pursue your dream and really trying to figure out what that dream may be at such a young age. Today on the show, I'm pleased to have in studio Indiana's own. He's not only just Indiana's own, because we got tons of Indiana own. We hear that like all the time. When you say Indiana own, to me it means like you either did something to make an impact to the city, or you did something to make an impact on the world or yourself. You just did something that truly was, what I might say, against all odds. But this young man has definitely done that. He's made a career out of the military, comes from out of the military, pursues even a more difficult road in becoming one of Indiana's best actors. I'd like to welcome to the show the one and only Mr. Tommy Gray the Third.
Thank you for having me.
I had to make sure I get that name right, because when you say Tommy Gray the Third,
right,
that's three generations. That's
correct.
Grandfather, father, then you.
That's right.
Let's get right down to this. I like that generation stuff. Tell me a little bit about your grandfather.
Well, my grandfather passed on a lot of wisdom and knowledge to my dad, who passed on a lot of wisdom and knowledge to myself.
Right.
And one thing that he always emphasized through body language was dress, how a man dresses. If you dress good, then in your mind, you look good.
Right.
If you look good, you feel good.
Right.
If you feel good, you will perform good.
Right.
If you perform good, it's all good.
Because you dressed up for real. So now your father. Tell me about your father, because this is three. You're the third generation. So tell me about your father.
So I believe that people say you can learn a lot from your parents, from your father. I believe that when growing up, and you observe your father, things are caught before they are taught. And one thing I've always caught from my father was my father has a very, 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 very strong work ethic. Okay. I would see my father go to work when he's sick.
Wow.
And he would always keep pushing.
Wow.
And seeing his work ethic kept me in my times in the military when I was tired, didn't feel like going on, dealing with life. And my father had a work ethic that in my mind today still motivates me and keeps me going.
Now let's talk about the new generation. You had some struggles. You're from Indianapolis, Indiana. You attended school here, and what was that like when you went to school here? Because that's where we're going to start out. You had some difficult moments in going to school to actually pave your way into the military to where you're at now. What was it like growing up and going to school here for you?
Well, going to school was almost every other year or a few years was transitional. Moved around from school to school. At that time, had a hard time comprehending, a hard time learning. Because when you're constantly on the move like that, you don't have any real stability.
Right.
So you're having a hard time trying to learn, trying to comprehend, and then after a while, all that catches up.
Right.
So now you're in middle school, junior high school, and you're trying to graduate, but there's not a whole lot of high school that's in you.
Wow. Why was there constant moving around for you?
So I mean, growing up as a child, I would live with my grandmother for a while.
Okay.
Right? And because my parents were young when they had me.
Okay.
They were kids having kids.
Okay, I got you.
Grandmother stepped in and did what she could, but again, there's a lot of movement in an aspect.
And a lot of transition.
A lot of transition. Yes. So a lot of adjustments. I've been adjusting my whole life. One thing that I am familiar with in my life is pain. And I believe that pain is the address where most people live.
You said that was deep. You said pain. At what age did you really start to recognize and identify pain? Because when we're young, we really don't know. We're in what I call state of confusion.
Right.
And we wonder, but we really don't understand that word pain. About what age was you, and what were some of the things that resonated with pain for you growing up?
Well, I think that when it comes to what age you can recognize that, I don't believe there is an age.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that sometimes it's always 20. Hindsight is 20/20.
Okay.
Because sometimes you think that the pain is normal. That's how that's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize it later. Wait a minute, I actually persevered through what I didn't know was pain.
Yeah.
But the pain that existed was the pain in regards to not having a lot of economical value as far as food. A lot of my struggles was I was always hungry.
Really?
I was always hungry. Living here in Indiana, we understand how cold it gets in the wintertime.
Oh yeah, nothing like a pot of chili if you can get the ingredients.
Or you have no heat in the house, so
yeah.
you get into the bed and the bed is so cold you think it's wet.
Wow.
Those pains went on for a long time. I would make sure I eat lunch at school, because if I did not eat lunch at school, I might not eat when I get home.
Wow.
So it was a constant struggle and pain. 7 years old, sitting down at the table, eating baby food for breakfast because there's no food in the house. If I'm eating baby food for breakfast, then what is everybody else eating? There's nothing there in the house.
How old were you when all this was taking place?
Oh,
roughly.
Memory probably about 6, 7. I don't know.
Now that you look back, why was there a struggle with no food in the house? I mean, I know your parents were both young. You was with your grandmother.
Right.
I mean, were there any means of income at all? Social services, food stamps? I mean, like.
Well, I mean, no, as a child, you really don't know if there are any extra resources coming in or not.
Right.
Look, from a child's point of view, all you know is grandmother and grandfather, and sometimes you see everybody, sometimes you don't, and so the only thing you know is what is there at the time.
Man, where was your mom and what was your mom and dad going through? They had you at a young age.
Right.
You was with your grandmother. Most grandmothers, believe it or not, happen to be the saviors for
absolutely.
Yeah, I know. My grandmother raised me, man. So sometimes,
man.
Yeah, sometimes you got to give shouts out to those
right.
grandparents, because they see a lot more than what you think.
That's right.
But your parents had you at a very young age.
Right.
What were they? How was their transition to becoming better parents? Because you modeled your life values from your father later on. So what adjustments were they making that you remember that made them better parents, even though they had you at a young age, to get you to where you are today?
Well, whatever adjustments they had to make on their end, I probably wasn't really cognitive of. But what I was cognitive of was their presence. Okay. Now, I never had to ever guess, well, who is my mother? Do I have one? I never was the kid that was sitting on the front step waiting for my dad to come, and he never showed up.
Wow.
So
even though you didn't have food, they were there.
That's right. And I would go with them on weekends, things like that, so that kind of compensated. But the adjustments I would say they made was presence. And when people are hurting, there's a lot of hurting people today, people need presence. And they made sure the adjustments they gave me were their presence. They were there.
Wow. Now, when you wind up going to school, high school, you're maturing and you're going to high school, and you did share something. When you're in transition so many times, the teachers don't realize the transitions, but you feel the effects of the transition. Mm-hmm. How did they present opportunities to you when it was time for you to graduate? Because the reason I'm saying that is because you did say that you were young and they had you classified as with a fourth grade mentality. And I'm pretty sure you didn't have nowhere near a fourth grade mentality. So how did you wind up changing the narrative? And then first questions to that is, how did that make you feel when it came at you, your counselors or whoever, and was like, let's be real, they probably didn't give you many options because they probably used that as a handicap at one point.
Well, I would say the concept that kept me going was, I always had people in my life that were there, that would motivate me, encourage me, feed me, support me. Biological mother, stepmother, my father, grandmother, uncles, people that were there that were behind the scenes. And as far as how that made me feel, when things like that happen, one or two things happen. You either fold under pressure and give into their lie, or it lights a fire in you. Mm-hmm. It lit a fire in me, but there was no gasoline.
Damn, that was deep.
Yeah. Went to the bottom of the ocean on that one.
Yeah. There was no gasoline.
Yeah, no gasoline.
I like that.
No gasoline. And what I mean by that is that there were no resources to help me better myself, my reading comprehension, or my mathematical skills. None of that was in place. So there was nothing there to really help me get to where I needed to be. And because nothing was there, I became angry. I became irritated. I became very cynical of my own self. I second guessed everything, even my own self. And it became that circle until I got in the military later on and was able to break through.
What made you decide to choose the military? Because clearly when you have that kind of fire and evidently you start filling the gasoline tank up, why did you wind up choosing the before you choose the military? Let's rephrase it. Before you even thought about military and starting to put the right kind of fuel in your gas tank, what were some of the career options that you was looking at, and why did you not choose those?
So there were plenty what I was looking at for career options. I think the biggest issue is none of those options were looking at me. You can look all that. You can look all the time you want to. That's all you're gonna do.
Okay. Hey, you're right. You're right. So
my options were very limited. Remember, we're talking about a high school kid who had already flunked the 7th grade. I'm going on 19 years old, can barely read. I have to go to summer school and night school at the same time my junior year just to graduate my senior year.
Congratulations, you did it though.
Yes. And so the only option that I had were the military.
Okay.
So I had to use what I could, and even that was a miracle to get into.
Yeah, because you got to take the test,
and I couldn't pass it.
And how did you take it?
I took the test one time, but it was so bad they said you can't retake it.
Really?
And when I asked my recruiter, I said, "What was my score?" He said,
"You don't want to know.
You don't want to know."
So did you put more gasoline in the tank to say I'm at least get in?
So I did. I got in, and once I got in, remember I'm halfway illiterate now.
Okay.
You get it into the military or anywhere else. When you're halfway illiterate, there are battles that people don't understand you face. You can't comprehend. You can't hold a dialogue. You can't debate. You can't defend yourself. Your vocabulary is very small. So you have to take a whole lot of verbal abuse that you don't want to take, but you don't have the vocabulary to defend yourself.
Wow.
When people tell you you're a mistake, you should not be here, you will never amount to be anything. And when you have superiors telling you that, and you have no vocabulary to defend yourself,
and you're in the Marines.
I'm in the Marines, which is
my brother was in the Marines. Yeah,
very physical branch.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. My brother, he went to Arlington, and I raised him, and he went to the Marines. And they give you guys that one phone call.
Yes.
And he called me, and he was like, "I want to come home." I said, "Dude, you can't come home."
No, you can't come home.
But you know what he said? It was the best thing that ever happened to him. He was in Desert Storm. He came out as sergeant at 22 years old, and my other brother Rashid went to the military. He's now went in law enforcement, and he's now detective in Atlanta. But back to you, I know from the stories I hear from my brother, that had to be a difficult challenge for you, knowing that you went in with a borderline. I call it borderline handicap because you can get over it with hard work. What were some of the things that really got to you? Because I know you wasn't going to quit. The military doesn't really allow that. They want to make you stronger. But what were some of the things that you really struggled with while you was there when you first get there?
Well, when you first get there, I think the adjustment is universal for all. I mean, number one, you're talking about being away from home, being away from loved ones. You're around people from all walks of life who you don't know. There's constant yelling, screaming, chaos. This is at boot camp, and I've been on both sides of the coin. And you're adjusting to marching to drilling. As you get further in your career, you're adjusting to being in different places for a long period of time, places you don't want to go, but you have to go. All of these things come together as a fist, and they come at you.
Were there ever any moments that you wanted to make a phone call and go AWOL?
I think that everyone has those moments every now and then. But you have to ask yourself, what is the bigger picture? As a quarterback on the football field, any successful quarterback understands they look 2 or 3 plays down the field. Whatever play they run, in their mind, they know the next play they're running.
Right.
You have to look 2 or 3 plays down the field. I kept the big picture in mind.
Okay. And then what choice did you make? What was your career path once you got there? Because at the boot camp, you got to start selecting the career path. Or do you guys take a test to determine your career path once you get there?
Well, you take a test before you get in, and once you get in, that determines your career path.
Oh my God! And your test wasn't.
It wasn't good. It was horrible. Here's the thing. Everything works out for the best because my career path ended up being the same field I stayed in after retirement.
Get out of here.
Which is supply chain management.
Okay.
And after I got in and things started to work out, I was able to go to college to better myself. And once I finally got to go to college, I had so much anger in me build up from people telling me I couldn't do it.
Right.
I was a mistake. And I just wanted to prove everybody wrong. So I went to college, and the first degree that I got was an associate degree in general studies.
Okay.
I had so much anger. I blew through it with a GPA of 4.0.
Congratulations.
I went back
Yeah.
because I said to myself, I don't think that they really get me. So I want them to get me. So I go back, and I get a bachelor's degree in management. Graduated top 10%. After I get the bachelor's degree, I said, I don't think they get me. So I go back again. And I get a master's degree in business administration. After that, I said,
I don't think they get me.
I'm going back again.
I got you on that one.
I go back again, and I get another degree in project management.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think they get me.
You're using your leverage
Exactly.
to keep moving up.
Yes. Pain can be your friend if the energy is applied in the right direction.
Yeah. And that's crazy because they shook your head with your test scores.
Yeah.
And now at boot camp, your test scores is going to determine your path.
That's right.
That's some crazy shit.
That's right.
But you did 22 years.
Correct.
And you had a great 22 years. Let's look at this list. Let's get real. Israel, Jordan, Greece, Africa, the Philippines, Thailand, Mexico, Ireland. Hell, the list goes on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's shit on here that you didn't put on there.
Right.
What was that like, visiting all these places, especially from a kid that had so much stacked against him, and now you're a man and you're seeing the world, opportunities out the wazoo? That must have been the most beautiful thing you can ever imagine.
It was certainly quite the experience, but it also made me see for myself that, number one, there is nothing really new under the sun. Everything that people are trying to do here and everywhere else, they're trying to do the same thing in other places.
Give me an example of what you're talking about.
For example, like trying to find the true meaning of life. Is there anything different going on anywhere else?
Okay.
You can get on an airplane here in Indiana and fly 3 hours west and be in California. Get on a plane in California and fly 11 hours west and be in Japan. Get on a plane in Japan and fly 3 hours west and be in the Philippines. Get on a plane in the Philippines and fly 4 hours west and be in Thailand. And nothing under the sun is new. So it let me know that you can waste a lot of time in this life trying to walk around, trying to find the next new thing when you are the next new thing.
Yeah. It's right inside yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's no sense of going to all these places because the bottom line is it's here and now. The same thing that's going on here is going on all over the world.
That's right.
Yeah. Why do you think people have a hard time getting that concept?
Well, I mean, for one, if you limit yourself to just your basic surroundings, and you don't allow yourself to open up, you can't experience what's out there. There are some people who only think that life is in Indiana, and that's it.
Yeah.
And if you limit yourself to that, you limit your observations, you limit your growth, your potential, and you stay stuck in this mindset. I think about when you drive down the interstate and you look on the side of the road and you see an abandoned vehicle, and you know the vehicle has been there for a while because there's an orange sticker on it.
Right.
And that orange sticker lets you know that this vehicle is abandoned, the cops going to come and get it. But people are constantly passing that vehicle by. And I ask myself every day, like, how many people do you walk by with orange stickers on them? How many people do you walk by every day that are stuck in life?
Yeah. Quite a few.
More than what you probably think.
Yeah, but in their minds, they'll say they're not. They're living the dream. I always ask, what is living the dream?
Well, living the dream is a different definition for everyone.
Yeah.
And so, the main goal as I stay on this earth is to help people who are stuck get unstuck.
You sound like Buddha over here. I didn't know we was going to go that deep. But I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So you come back. Congratulations, more importantly, for serving our country in whatever capacity that may be. You allowed us to stay safe in this beautiful country that we live in. And my thanks to you. You come back and now you want to pursue acting.
Right.
How in the heck did that come up in your life circle?
Well, I always wanted to act and model. The challenge is when you're in the military, you don't have a lot of time to do that. I mean, you're kind of all over the world, man. So when I retired, it allowed me to have the opportunity to do things I wanted to do. And I knew people that knew people, whatever. And so they kind of got me into some auditions. And then the first time I auditioned, the director said, man, I like it.
Really?
I like it. And so ever since then, doors start opening. And it's like anything else in life you're going to be good in. You got to put the work in.
Right.
So as doors start opening, I got me an acting coach. Best acting coach on this side of the planet, man. And we would sit down, and me and Tajudeen, he would teach me. I mean, this acting coach is serious. I mean, he's been through all kind of colleges and everything. And every successful play I've done, every film I've done, I tell people it's because you have to get a coach. You got basketball coaches, football coaches, life coaches. You need to coach your acting.
How do you know how to pick a good acting coach and a good agent and so forth? What should their resume really consist of?
Well, you won't know how to really pick a good agent in the beginning. It all starts, it's foundational. The first thing you do is picking an acting coach. And, acting coach, like anything else, credentials, background, work they've done. But if they are a serious acting coach, if they are very serious, the way that you will know they're serious is if you go to them and you say, I'm looking for some help to better myself. And if they come to you and they say, okay, I'm going to schedule a class. And you go to the class, and once you go there, nobody's there, right? Except for you. And that coach still pours into you as if the classroom is full, but it's just you. They don't shortchange the class. They give you their all. And when they do that, That's when you know, okay, this person is serious.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you had your first encounter with getting a coach, what was the most you was already told you was good, but now you got an acting coach. What was what were you weak at as what he might have told you? You're good, you're getting the parts, but he's a coach. He sees the flaws. What was the things that he saw in you that needed to be gravitated?
Oh man, I got a whole lot. The list, man. Well, for one, when you're on stage or on camera, and the audience is out there, your job as an actor is, I gotta make sure I tell the story. And that's what he would tell me. Your job as an actor is to tell the story. And how you tell the story is it's the small things. It's the small nuances.
Right.
It's certain facial expressions that you would make during certain scenes. It's certain eye contact or sight lines. All these small things you're not doing, he would say.
Right.
You got to make sure that you do. And you can't overly commit to some things because they kill the scene.
Right.
So he would go through all these things, man. Believability, commitment, proper eye contact, nuances, facial expressions, picking your spots. And we would just run that gauntlet over and over and over and over again, man.
And then when did you get a chance to put the icing on the cake? What was the first show that you had the opportunity to showcase all the stuff that you was taught?
Well, I had already been acting just a little bit before I had got the coach, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say that the first show that I ever done was a show that was called Being Black. And we ended up doing that show 3 years in a row, 5, 6, 7, 8 shows.
Really?
Each time, yeah. Traveled to Gary to do it. And that was when I first had the ability to showcase it. And I know it worked because in that play, I was the villain. I was the bad guy, right? And my scene partner was my girlfriend in scene, right?
Right.
And so her son was there watching the show. So she comes to me later on. She said, my son came to me and told me, Mom, that guy that was your partner, that guy in the scene, I wanted to beat him up so bad. And I told her, I said, good. That means I done my job. And that's how I knew everything he taught me, all the work I put in. That's when I said, this is working. Oh, this is working.
Another notch on the belt.
Yeah, it's working.
So what are some of the films and short films and some of the plays that do you like doing, plays or films? And then the other part of this question is which ones which one means the most to you? You like what film that you do that have you done, and what short play and what plays have you done that are really memorable for you?
That's as far as what's better, film or theater. Mm-hmm. I ran across something that Denzel Washington said, and actually what he said really caught me by surprise.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you're getting ready to catch me by surprise because I like Denzel, so let's hear it is.
And Denzel said, never, as an actor, never get away from the stage.
Yeah.
Never get away from theater. So, in my mind, I'm thinking, you want to stay in front of the camera, maybe less stage. No, he said, because the stage is where you actually learn how to act.
Wow, that's deep.
Exactly. And so I probably would gravitate more towards theater as far as which one I like the best.
Right.
But each has its pros and cons.
Right. What's the pros and cons?
Well, for theater, if you're on stage and it's live and you mess up or your scene partner mess up, better figure it out. Because there is no cut on a live play.
Yeah.
So
wait a minute, cut.
That's right. That's right. So if somebody forgets their line, or you forget theirs, then the only people who should know they messed up is you.
Right.
Better fix it. With film, if you're filming, you mess up, cut.
Yeah, just do it again.
Edit it out.
Edit it out.
Yeah. So it's pros and cons. There's pros and cons with rehearsals or taxing with theater, because on the week of the play, you have rehearsal every day.
Yeah.
Film, you only come with your time to film.
Yeah.
When your time is, yeah. So both has its ups and its downs as far as pros and cons, but both are very, very, very valuable.
Now, which one of the most memorable plays or films have you done, and why?
I think the most memorable play I've done was one that was recent, early this year, and it was called "Taken for Granted." And the reason why is because, first of all, the role that I had to play challenged me. I had to play a drug addict, a dope fiend, a crackhead, and playing those kind of roles are challenging because they're a crackhead, a dope fiend. Their emotions are a roller coaster. They're not steady at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to learn how to make that happen, to bring it to life and to make it believable to the audience.
Mm.
You're creating a whole new person that is like almost different personalities. But also because the story is a story we see today in many places. Marriages that are kind of falling apart due to outside resources, too much alcohol, too much drug addiction. We also see things in families that sometimes get that happen but never get dealt with, swept under the rug, molestation, things like this. All those things were addressed in that play. Not only addressed, but confronted to where actual healing happened.
Yeah, and that's something you don't really see even in movies. That's why they keep coming out with part 1, part 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, but when you're doing a theater, it's a whole different. I like to see things like that where you draw me into it, but I also want to know how you're gonna fix it at the end.
Exactly. And the writers, Dewan Boy, Jackie Boy, when they directed that, and the writer LaCoy, when they put all this together, I was amazed at the outcome.
Really?
And then the audience was even more amazed.
How do you get picked? How do scripts come to you? How do you get offered the scripts? Because you're kind of new at this, in this industry. So how do you get the scripts?
So first there's always auditions.
Okay.
You can audition, but if you do your job as an actor, so I started acting in 2019.
Okay.
And I've been going on ever since. But if you do your job, if you put in the work, then what happens is you start doing plays and films, and other directors will notice you, and they say, that guy, that girl, they're pretty sharp. So then people will start searching you out.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, you have 4 or 5 plays or films that people are seeking you out for.
Yeah.
And I've learned that it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
so the scripts come by auditioning and you get the role, but they also come when people notice you and they say, hey, I want him, I want her.
And you know what? That happened to a previous guest that we had on the show, and he said, Andre, I just kept going to auditions. I was what they call it, just a fill in, and they kept seeing his face, and before you know, he got a major deal. He's like, hey, I got a major deal. Happened twice. Two people that's been on the show.
Yeah.
Now let's change it to something a little bit more, even more impactful in your life. You share with me, and I appreciate you sharing this. The struggle, not even the struggle, the heartfelt emotions of your wife and your friend. That had to be the most pain-ridden moment in your life to have that happen to you. What happened, and how did you overcome it? And more importantly, like you just talked about the play, how did you forgive?
Well, I mean, you have to look at, there is always a silver lining in everything. You may not be able to see that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the other side, like, there is a silver lining, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the silver lining is there is a better version of you on the other side.
You need to say that again. I tell people that all the time.
There is a better version of you on the other side.
Yeah.
And the challenge is people do not want to put in the work.
Okay.
Because healing takes work.
Yeah.
It takes a lifestyle change, sometimes a diet change, change places where you go, but it's a better version of you. And that is the bigger picture that I kept in mind, regardless of the pain, the struggles. And once there's a better version of you, and once you reach that version, and once you're healed, that's better for you.
But this was your best friend. This was your wife.
Right.
Like, and I think people say, "Oh, that's easy said than done." It wasn't an overnight sensation for you to heal from all this.
Well, I don't think that would be an overnight for anyone.
Right.
I mean, you have to put in the work. And so when I say put in the work, friends, prayer, counseling, therapy, rinse, wash, repeat. And we're talking about, a hardcore discipline. And we're talking about a process that's repeated for about 11 months straight. And these are emotions that you got to process, right?
Did you have any idea that this shit was even going on?
Well, I had no idea at all. Everything came out later on, but when it came out later on, at that point, regardless of the emotions or whatever, you still have to make sure you think about everything you have going for you.
Yeah, because if you had went down the wrong path with
Exactly.
emotions,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Your whole trajectory of life would have been totally different.
And you have to be careful to not throw away everything you have for anybody out there who don't have nothing to lose or who may not have as much to lose as you do, especially if you have other people dependent on you.
Mm. And I think people don't think about that because we do have a tendency to get caught up in emotions.
Yeah.
Versus understanding emotions can also put you in a bad place.
Right.
Yeah. So you managed to get over that, what you call it, wash and rinse and
rinse, wash, repeat. And that is
you're starting to sound like the Dalai Lama now.
But that's what a lot of things are in life, whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
If you were learning, you're going through something or you're learning something new. I mean, it's a repetitive process.
Right. You know what? It's so funny that you said it because I tell people, because people can look at you and be like, man, don't like you have any problems. Shit, I have problems every day. But you know what? When they happen, I sit down for a minute, I catch my thoughts, and I ask myself either one or two things. What's the lesson here? How do I understand the lesson? And how do I keep moving forward?
Right. Exactly.
That's my philosophy. I keep it. I don't add a whole bunch of chapters. That's kind of like you said, rinse, wash, and go.
That's right.
That's what I do. Because if I can't fix it, then why do I need to worry about it?
Exactly.
Wow. Before we wrap up, you came back to Indianapolis. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You came back here for a purpose. And I already know what the purpose is. I don't know if it's a preacher or minister. But before we even do that, before we wrap up, you're doing something even more amazing. You wrote a book. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the book.
So the book is called Deep Waters Life's 31-Day Devotional.
Where's my book at? You see all these books in here? From
That's
right. You're supposed to say it's in the mail.
Yeah. But, writing a book was my way of trying to help people get unstuck. Mm-hmm. As the method I use. There are people in this life that are stuck. There are winners, there are losers, and there are some people who just don't know how to win. Mm. And my goal is to help people get unstuck, to help people know how to win, and to remember I said pain is the address where most people live. To change your address from pain to joy.
And you know what? That's hard for people to do because I talk to people all the time. And you know what they say? I'm glad you got that book. They need to read it. You guys need to read the book. They don't know how. And more importantly, their fear factors keep them locked.
That's right.
In a fear-based factor because I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday and I was just listening to her talk because sometimes you got to be a good listener. I can't fix your problems.
Right.
But I listen. And I kept hearing the one thing that did make me comment. They start out with a positive. I know I need to do this, but then they'll go somewhere else. Oh, I need to do this. I got this, but, and I had to interject, and I go, you know what? You're not listening to yourself. You're talking.
Yeah.
You have the plan when you're speaking what you need to do, but then you throw yourself a dart in the face by saying, but. I say, you ever notice when I'm talking, I very seldom, if ever, use the word but in my vocabulary, because but sends up a question mark in your thought process.
Yeah.
How can people get that book? That's what they need to do. How can they get that book?
They can get the book anywhere books are sold, Amazon, Books A Million, Walmart, Barnes Nobles. It's called Deep Waters Life's 31-Day Devotional, and you can get it anywhere books are sold.
Why do you think you truly are a success? You truly have words of wisdom, but with all that knowledge and all that you've seen around the world, why do you think people still have a hard time getting stuck outside of the fear base? What are some of the other crippling factors?
When you think about fear, you ask yourself the question, what is fear? False evidence appearing real.
Okay, you're blowing my mind away. Oh my goodness! Okay, say that again. Say that again.
Fear. People have this fear, and when you ask yourself, "What is fear?" Right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a word, you can use it as an acronym. Fear. False evidence appearing real.
Whew, I'm gonna start using that. You don't mind me using that when I talk to people, do you?
It's all good, man.
That is deep. But give me an example of that. Give me an example. Get the audience an example of what you just said.
Well, I mean, it can be anything as far as an entrepreneur who wants to start a business. Anybody who has entered into entrepreneurship knows that is a leap. And oftentimes in that arena, when you leap, the first time you do fall.
Yeah.
You may fall
several times. But it only takes one time to not fall and to make it. And you can actually have a fear of falling X amount of times, trying to figure out how many times will I fall before I make it, when that thinking is backwards. It's not how many times I fall before I make it, it's how soon can I make it before I fall. Changing the narrative.
Exactly.
I'm going to start calling you the Dalai Lama.
Oh, man.
I'm going to start calling you the Dalai Lama for real. It would be nice if people could register that mindset. What a difference the world would be. If everybody would pick up that concept and embrace it and utilize it in their own life, what a difference. But I don't know how to get people to do it other than to read the book. Pick up the book.
Well, the book will definitely help you, give you some pointers, some insights, and some concepts. At the end of the day, you have to decide, this is what I want for my life. I can't want what's better for you more than you want what's better for you. I can't want it more than you.
Yeah. And then something else that the process of investing in yourself, we don't see that. We see people that want you to do the walking for them, but they don't want to put stake in the game. What's your take on that, Dalai Lama?
Investing in yourself somehow always includes the help and resources of other people.
Okay.
You can invest in yourself, but sometimes you don't know how to invest in yourself. Even if you was to go to school, there's a teacher that's investing in you because they're teaching you. So investing in yourself, if you're going to allow someone to really mentor you, right? No biases.
Yeah. Then
understand the concept that if you want to go fast, go by yourself.
Right.
If you want to go far, take somebody with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what's your thought of being able to listen and being able to be humble during this process?
So being able to listen is being able to not just hear the sounds a person is making. Right? I say this because my new relationship that I'm in right now with a phenomenal woman, we'll be talking and she'll be saying something, and it just depends on what it is. It can be anything, but whatever she's saying, I'm not really listening to what the words she's just saying.
Right.
What I'm really listening to is what is behind it.
Right.
Like what's deeper than that.
Right.
Even if she's saying something I don't like, well, if I can pick something out, that means I can go deeper and find out what she's really saying. People have to ask themselves, what is this person really saying? And you can't figure that out if you only respond to words that you don't like.
Boom. Boom. You can say that again. I mean, it's fine with me. And you're 100% right. I run across that with people. I'm like, learn to process words.
Yes.
No, let's go back to what you said. Be the quarterback.
Yes.
Look for 5 plays down the line through the conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you definitely earned the title Dalai Lama today.
No, man. No.
So you're back in Indiana. What made you decide to come back?
Well, I still have I have daughters that are here, okay. And then so I just could not see, even though my oldest daughter's grown, but I have one is one is 8 and 16, and then my other one, she's 28.
Okay.
So, but I just could not see retiring in North Carolina on the beach, with a margarita, and my daughters are here in Indiana.
Camp Lejeune?
Cherry Point.
Okay.
I couldn't. That would not, as a dad, and I'm a very active and very involved dad.
Okay.
That would not sit well with me.
Okay.
So I said, I got to come back for my babies.
How can the viewers reach out to you and support everything that you're doing? And once again, thank you so much for taking the time to come and for serving our country. I wish you nothing but the best. I know we're going to see you doing some stuff next to Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to say, I know that guy.
Yeah.
He's the Dalai Lama. How can the viewers reach out to you?
Well, you can always reach out to me via my email, grayt241@yahoo.com. Reach out to me on Instagram, Sagittarius for Life. Look me up on Facebook, Tommy Gray, or Tommy Gray Actor, two Facebook pages. And so they can reach out to me like that, and I will definitely respond and get back with them.
Leave the viewers, you deserve this honor. Leave the viewers with what keeps you going in that beast mindset. And what do you recommend for them to do to stay the way that you think all the time?
Well, what keeps me going at beast mindset is that everything that I do is never about me. I may be doing it for my own goal, personal reason, but I don't live my life for me anymore. I live my life for the people who are dependent upon me. I live my life for my daughters. I live my life for my new lady. I live my life for family members. I live my life for people who I know I can make an impact on. And the way that you do that is you have to ask yourself, what is the most important thing for you in your life? And as you do that, cut out all distractions and focus on getting to the goal. I hope that helps you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first from Mr. Dalai Lama himself, world-renowned actor Tommy Gray III. This has been another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show.